Welcome to Off Script. It's your favorite host, Alex the Rebel. And as always, let's get right into the nitty gritty. So, what is your reading goals? Do you have reading goals? If you don't, shame on you. Start now. We're still early in the year, early in the season, right? To start reading. Anyways, so last year, I read about 20 books, right? 2025. I just read like 20-ish books, not counting comics. I know I need to start counting comics. If I count comics, it's probably more like 60 books, 70 books, 100. Who knows? But I'm just talking about books, right? So I read about 20, but I wasn't like writing them down or I wasn't putting it anywhere. So I decided that I was like for 2026, I want to put, I had the Goodreads downloaded in my phone, but I was like, how about I use that so I can actually track and see what books I read? And I'm like, oh yeah, I read that book, and I could talk about it because at the moment I'm like, oh yeah, Alex, what book did you read? I'm like, um, you know, I could get really lost easily. So I was like, you know what? I want to track the books. I want to read the book, and then just go from there. And so I've always read since I can remember. I've been reading. I love reading. Like I'm as obsessed with reading as I am with movies. But it had been like years since I read like a lot of fiction, right? So I tend to read a lot more like biographies, doctrine books, theology books, things like historical books, whatever, just Christian books. That's what I read a lot of, especially the last, I don't know, 10, 15 years. And I remember that I was a sailor for a few years. And so because I was gonna go sailing, I couldn't bring books. So I downloaded Audible. Then I just started downloading all these books, all these kinds of books. And one of the books that I downloaded was The Lord of the Rings. So I was like, you know what? I read this when I was a little younger, the real book. Like, but let me read it again. Let me experience it again. And I remember I was listening to it. I was like, I could not follow it because I was, working or doing something, and because there were so many words, like new words and languages and stuff like that. I'm like, I could not follow. I couldn't follow. So I just like, you know what? I'm just gonna stick to like I said, I'm just gonna stick to nonfiction books, easier to digest. But I came to realize that it was kind of my fault. So what I noticed is that there's certain genres, certain kinds of books that's a little easier to digest, even if you're doing something, right? So this year, I do a lot of traveling for work, so in airport, long drives, I do all that kind of stuff. So I was like, let me download some stuff that's kind of like easy to listen to, easy to kind of follow a little bit. And it ended up being like who done it, a bunch of who done it books or like murder mysteries, detective books. So I read a ton of those, and they were so fun, super fun. I really had a lot of fun with them. But I noticed that after like the 16th book or something like that, I was like, you know what? I'm already picking up patterns. And there was especially this one guy because I read like three or four of his books back to back to back, right? So there was like a lot of patterns that I was picking up, and I was kind of solving it better, or at least picking up on things. And I'm like, I need a break. I need a break from murder mysteries because I just need a break from the genre, right? So I was like, I have no idea what to read. And so I don't know how, okay? I don't know how it happened, but on TikTok, I got into classic literature book talk. And I was hearing about all these amazing books, right? Like all these amazing books, and I'm like, man, that sounds great. Like the kind of Monte Cristo, the brothers Karamazov, Crime and Punishment, Jane Eyre, right? Like so many books that I was hearing about. I'm like, this is amazing. Like, I want to try it. Okay, let me try one of these books. And for those of you who don't know, if you live, I think it's a California thing, I'm not sure, but Hoopla. Holy cow, this is an amazing thing. So Hoopla is like Audible, but it's free. So you're renting books from a library. You go rent 5 books a month. Trust me, at the pace that I've been going, 5 books is nothing. I'm like, I need more books. Hoopla, give me 10. Give me 10. Anyways, so yeah, again, I put the goal for this year to be 24, and I'm already at 20. So I moved the goal to 48. So I'm gonna try to hit 48 books this year. But yeah. So I mean, driving, airplane, cleaning, doing errands, whatever. Bam! You could just listen, read a book. Just it's an incredible resource. I love it. I absolutely love it. Game changer, game changer. Anyways, so on Book Talk, there was this one book that kept popping up, and I was like, "Look, I want to read, but I've never read like classic literature like that. I mean, I've read, the Chronicles of Narnia. I read Lord of the Rings. I guess I know they're considered classic literature, but that's pretty much it. Like Peter Pan, I read. Um, like books like that really, really, really popular, more in my niche. But I was like, I want to branch out. I want to read classic literature. So I was like, look, I want to start small because I'm like, you know what? I don't know if I could do 25 hours or 30 hours or 52 hours. I don't know because I've never done it. So I never read this kind of book. So, I'm like, you know what? Let me give it a shot. It's a small book and a lot of people seem to like it. And it seems to be my wheelhouse. So the book is called Stoner by John Williams. Okay. So this was my first classic literature book entry, right? And I was like, you know what? I wanted to start like kind of like a book club. So I told my buddy Jesse, like, let's read books together. So it's like we're like a little book club or two. But you can join. You can join, definitely. We're gonna do the Odyssey. This is May 5th, and you're listening to this or close to. We just started that. We haven't started it, but May 5th we might have started it. But we're reading the Odyssey to get ready for the movie, the grand movie by Christopher Nolan. Oh, so excited. So excited. Anyways, but back to it. I was like, let me try something different. I want to read, I want to read this classic literature kind of stuff. So I started with Stoner by John Williams. Let me tell you guys, talk about emotions. Talk about anger, sadness, depression, like all grief, all kinds of emotions, man. This book, it did it. Okay? And you might be thinking to yourself, hey, Alex, I know you. You're an emotional guy. And you're right. Guilty as charged. I'm an emotional guy. But you know what? My buddy isn't. Jesse is not. He is level, consistent, chill guy. That's Jesse. Just if you know him, you know what I'm talking about. He just chill. He doesn't go crazy highs, crazy lows. Just constant. This movie went to Jesse's wall of emotion, right? And brought small chisel, because again, small books, small chisel, and making a small hole in that wall, just keep going. So much so that the flood of emotions broke that wall. And it was this tiny book called Stoner. Okay? He had emotion. He felt things. And we were talking about it. And I think I'm not a literature like professor or anything, pun intended. Um, but I think it is because it was relatable. It's about this man. We enter into his life right as he's going into college, and we see his whole life, the whole thing, and it's so relatable because it's just life. Like it's like things that happen in life. You get angry, you get sad, like grief, all those emotions. You feel it because it's so easy to relate to this. Um, it's an incredible book. It's an incredible book. And once I got there, I was like, these beautiful, simple sentences that I learned. You probably learned this a long time ago, but I kind of learned it prose, just these great prose, which means sentences. Apparently, I hope I'm right, but I think that's what I mean. But yeah, just like this beautiful writing of just simple, easy to digest writing, and I was enamored. Like I was like, I hadn't felt like this about books in a long time. So since then, I read Stoner, and then I read Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck. I mean, what an emotional ride that was. And I think it's coming down to that I really love character driven stories. I love to read stories that is relatable, right? And I just I'm just so excited. Like there's books on my TBR like to read. I'm just excited about books that I'm like I can't wait to get there, right? I also read The Man Who Was Thursday by G.K. Chesterton. Man, I can't pronounce that Chesterton. Um, that was good. Like it was the premise was good. The ending. I don't know if I was confused, if I didn't understand it quite. So I'm still chewing on that. But yeah, again, also I think what could have hindered the book as well was the narrator. So the one good thing about physical books is like when you're reading it, you can put whatever voices you want, right? And when I used to read books, I put music, so that kind of enhanced the story, like feeling. So like if it's a sad book, I put like the sad kind of soundtrack. If it's you get it, if it's action, more action driven type of music. So I used to do that. Well, I still do that when I read physical books. That's what I do still, but that's what I do. So now the one drawback with audiobooks is that if the reader is not great, it might affect the way you feel or think about the book. So that's a very real thing that we could think about, right? So I've read Stoner and Of Mice of Men and The Man Who Was Thursday so far. Those are three literature classic books. But I think I'm like leaning right now towards more, you know, American literature. So I'm gonna probably chew on more of those now as of right now. So these are the books that I'm really excited of reading. Is Butcher's Crossing by John Williams, the same guy that wrote Stoner. They say this book's even better. I don't know how that's possible, but I was like, you know what? I want to read that. So that's on my to do list next. East of Eden by John Steinbeck. I'm so excited about reading that. I'm also reading right now The Old Man and the Sea, physical book by Ernest Hemingway. Oh, no, again, there's something to this simple, truthful type of story that I love. I'm loving, right? So there's so many books that I need to read. Like right now, what I'm noticing is I don't want to go back to like those other books, like Who Done It or quote unquote fun books. So, for instance, I consider like the Who Done It book, those books I was reading in the beginning of the year, like popcorn books, enjoyable, right? Enjoyable. I like it, and it's a fun read. But you know what? I am joining Andrew the Saint. I'm joining Andrew and becoming a snob. Andrew is a movie snob, okay? We all know it, and that's fine. I'm becoming a book snob, because like for movies, I think because you have visuals, you have music, you have a lot of things going for a movie, great acting, so many things that even if it's like a quote unquote bad movie or quote mid movie, I can still like be happy with the experience. That's one. Two, unless I'm going out with friends or my kids, my boys, I'm watching movies that I want to watch. And again, sure, I'm a little easier on movies, so I have a bigger scale, bigger grace for movies. So yeah, sure, I might like more movies than most people. Fine, I give you that. It's okay with me. But when it comes to books, I just want the grades. So now, no, it's funny because I always like I would always joke to Andrew like, bro, do you like to have fun? You know what I mean? Like, who hurt you when he talks about movies, right? And I'm like, you know what? I get it. I get it now. I just read like three, four books of classical books, and I'm already a book snob. And I don't come to me with new books, guys. Joking. I'm really am joking. So right now I'm also reading Lonesome Doves. Again, it's about cowboys, a lot of good characters, and it's a slow build. It's all driven by characters and story. Oh my goodness, the writing is so good. It's by Larry McMurtry. It's incredible, and I think again, I think I'm leaning a little bit more towards American literature, especially Audible, is because the voice acting is incredible. Because I think it's because I'm an American, it's easier for me to listen to and like really, I don't know, like I have no idea. But man, the voice acting on these books, like on Stoner, oh my goodness, of Mice and Men and Lonesome Doves right now, incredible. It's incredible. Like, oh my goodness, I get so excited when I think about, oh my goodness, I have 10 minutes, and I could get back to my book. Like that's my life now, bro. That's me right now. I'm loving this. I'm loving this. You know what I'm saying? And I think these are good intros because again, I want to get into the big dogs. You know what I'm saying? Big boys. Like the Brothers Karamazov or something like that by Dostoevsky. Can't even pronounce his name. I don't think I'm ready yet. You know what I'm saying? But man, I'm excited for that one. Crime and Punishment, The Count of Monte Cristo. Like, I'm excited for these big boys, right? So this is my new life, guys. I am classic literature Alex. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how it happened. Oh man, I love it. This is my identity now as a book guy, classic literature. So if it's not classic, I don't want it. I'm joking. I'm sure there's a lot of books that are new that I haven't read. So I'm loving this, guys. This is a beautiful time. So if you are a reader but you never dug into the classic, I think you really should try. So you like me, kind of. You like a little sad. Two books I will start with is the same two that I started with. I think it's a great introduction to American literature or classic literature. It's Stoner by John Williams and Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck. I think those are great books. And if you are a classic literature expert, and I'm sure I'm missing so many. There is so many books out there. I'm like, I don't know where to start. Like Great Expectation by Charles Dickens is what I'm excited about reading too. But I'm excited. Like I look forward to the book life that I have ahead of me, and I'm smiling. This is how I'm doing. I'm looking, and this is what I'm doing. Smiling. See my smile? That's my smile. It's the smile of boy wonder. That's my smile. You know, like visually, if you're watching it, you see how that feels. That's how I feel inside because of these books. Like this. Like I love these books. I feel like a kid again when it comes to reading. Like I'm excited about reading. You know, like, and again, I think sci-fi is fun. I don't know if that's my jam. Like I read again. Project Hail Mary. That was amazing. I love that book. So I know there's certain sci-fi, so I don't know. Like the character Rocky in that one is the one that gripped me. I really loved Rocky's character. So again, if I guess if it had great characters, I would read it. But for all of you classic literature experts out there, I'm a baby student. Lead me, show me the way. What other books that are hidden gems are out there? Please write in the comments. You know what I'm saying? Hit me up. Let me know. And again, if you want to start in this very tiny book club, I should call it like the classic Oni book club. It's a joke. But me and Jesse, we're gonna start reading the Odyssey, getting preparation for Christopher Nolan's epic of a movie, which I know I'm gonna like. Even if the story's not great, I know visually it's gonna be. Because even Tenet, I was confused the whole time. But man, it was a good watch. You know what I'm saying? Like, am I gonna watch it again? No. See, like I was talking to Andrew, and I was like, you know what? I wish there was just because I'm more of a heart and no heart guy. Like, I think rating is pretty horrible. I'm pretty horrible at it because I'll be like, oh, this movie was like, eh. And I gave it a 3. But I don't think that's a 3, right? If I'm like, it should be like a 1, right? So I'm really horrible at rating like stars. But I know what I heart. I know what I feel, right? So I love these kinds of book, and now I'm like Andrew, except for books. So me and Andrew are the same. Well, he's probably like that with books too. So I mean, because that's just his personality. But movies, I'm way more forgiving, way more like I give you more of a leash. But I'm with Andrew in the book side now. We're both snobs book wise. So there you go. Welcome me with open arms, book snobs. I'm here. I'm happy. I'm in a happy place with this. So again, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. You guys are amazing. Go read more books, literature, classic books. Trust me, it'll change your life. It's amazing. Rebel out. Stoner.